Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality, Realness, and Entertainment in Color, merging together. I am your host, Chantel Francis, with my amazing co-host, Tamika Francis. How are you today? What's going on?
I'm good. Ready to relax. The day is done.
The day is done.
This episode probably put me to sleep a little bit, but that's
This episode, so we will be talking about Love Island UK Season 8, Episode 3. You don't have good things to say about it?
No, not at all.
Well, the first thing that I have to say about it is it was not until 22:48 that we saw, or a black person said something. almost 23 minutes into the episode before we might have had an image flash, but it ended up being right before they were going to bed. We saw, I think it was Ikenna and India say one word each, and then that was it from the beginning of the episode. I'm just like, where's the representation?
I don't know what they're on right now. Like, this episode was not it, and I don't know what they're on. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, let's break it apart. Like, what do you think is going on? Like, what? Like, we're it's our channels, right? We are allowed to speculate on what is happening. But usually the UK is a little bit better on how they represent people of color. They're usually a little bit better than in North America, I've found.
But for some reason, it feels like with Love Island, they have not found the, I don't want to say combination, but the flow that makes sense. Because, like I said yesterday, why is it that Davide didn't somehow talk to either of the black women? How is that possible? So it's either you guys chose not to show him talking to them, or you picked a person who would not ever entertain them. And now they're stuck with these two black men as something they can't move past because there's nobody else that wants them.
And it's just, I'm so tired of these beautiful women made to feel like they aren't valued equally as any of the other white women on the show. You know, right. Like, they're both absolutely stunning. And why do they not have the same opportunity of love as the other three women who are beautiful, but I think that they're more stunning, we'll say, than the others, you know?
Yeah, I'm not understanding it. And then the way that they chopped up this episode, I'm also, I don't know how they're playing it, but from what I'm reading on social media and what played out at the end of this episode, I'm just finding a hard time believing some of it. I think the producers are in their producer bag where they're just like manipulating some stuff, and I'm not appreciating it.
Well, one thing that's been going on in the North America, we'll say, is that increase in diversity is going on behind the scenes. So behind the camera, casting, producing, that's also areas that are being looked at to increase diversity, because then they're getting to understand the lens and the story of people of color, not just being like, okay, let's just put more black people, black and brown people on the screen. Like, okay, yes, that's one step, but like, what about behind the camera, so that telling the stories of these people are also people of color that will have a different perspective on how to create these stories.
Right. Like we're not getting conversations.
There's no way that there's one white person, the one black person that is working behind the scenes on the show. There's not one. I can't see it.
If they are, then they're not they're not
silenced
to them.
Yeah. Or they're worried about their job.
Right. Which I could probably see.
It's just shocking to me that season 5, I think, was pretty good. Maybe if I look back and watched it now, maybe I wouldn't think it was as good, but I felt like the lead of that season, all three leads, so Anna, Yewande, and Amber, were all ethnically diverse for
Right.
sure. Also, all shape wise diverse. So they weren't all stick skinny. Like they had like
Right.
normal bodies that were beautiful.
Right.
And they all had love stories. I mean, I think Yuwande was done a little bit dirty, but she still did have an opportunity to be in like that little relationship with Danny for a little bit. And she did have a bit of a storyline, and it did kind of have those girls come together to stand up for her. So, it's still, she didn't get the love, but she did at least have the storyline.
Right.
What's going on with these two women here? It's like, we see near the end of this episode that Amber feels that she has to kiss Dammy just to stay relevant in this episode, because it's like, well, there's nobody else that I'm interested in. There's nobody else that's interested in me. Okay, well, I guess we better start something because we both want to stay in the show.
Right. The audience already paired us up, so they'll root for us. Let's just keep it moving. And I feel like India and Ikenna are kind of doing the same thing. It might keep them all safe for now. But it's
But
unfortunate
that's an
because
audience dump right there, right? Dump
yeah,
your
the
least favorite
audience is
couple.
the audience is not going to want to it's just I was totally frustrated this entire episode. I was just like, what is this? What is this episode? And then just I don't know. Let's
I'm
recap
with
it
you.
and then
Yeah,
I
for
will.
sure. So Liam, we get to Liam, he's still kind of heartbroken about Gemma, who's now coupled up with Davide. And he still has eyes for Gemma. And like, I'm just like, why? Like, I know she's gorgeous, but like, she really is boring to me. Like, really, really, really
Yeah,
boring.
like, and I think it was even more pronounced this episode. I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's really kind of David or the other guys that are like, no, no, no. She is like she of all the girls is
Boring.
probably the most. Should I say vapid? Like, like nothing. She's bringing nothing to this
Except,
situation.
well, we learned that she looks good in a bikini, so the guys appreciate her bikini wearage.
Right.
But other than that, I, for what I look for in a relationship, she does not bring that to the table for me.
No.
Not in the least.
And then you add Davide to her. It's I don't know if he would shine with somebody else, but I'm like both of them, just nothing there for me. And then I could barely listen to his ITM because his hair was all over the place. I was like, what is up with his hair? So then on top of that, Liam, poor Liam, I don't know if he just feels like that's how, like, I don't know if he was just trying to play into it or if that's how he really feels because he was just like, he only likes Gemma. I'm like, Paige is right there. Tyler is right there. India's right there. Amber's right there. Like, there's nothing that I'm seeing about Gemma that you should be like, she is the only one for me.
I mean, I think it's probably being taken away by somebody else before you had a chance to get to know her. She's very attractive. All the guys think that she has a really great body, and he might feel a little bit inferior to Davide, him being older, also having like a big muscular body. So I think that he's just acting like a young boy that's toy got taken away.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Because he's what, only 22, right?
Something like that.
Yeah,
This is born in the 2000s, I'm sure. Or 99.
crazy.
Can't even. It's too much for me. Yeah, I really I wish that, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna give Liam the benefit of the doubt. I'm
Hmm.
gonna say to Liam that he might be doing the best thing for him as playing up this role of the sad puppy dog that just got his girl stolen away. Because we learn at the end of this episode that the two new women that are coming in, the audience voted for him to go on a date with both of them, if I'm not mistaken. Correct? He got both the text?
He got both the text, but from what I was seeing on comments, people were like, I voted for him to go on a date with this one, and I voted Davide to go on a date with that one.
Oh. Hmm. Well, the producers always like to step in, right? And so I think the fact that they're probably golden boy there, I think you were calling him the what's his name? Million, was it Liam?
Liam.
Wait, another Liam? Okay, so the Liam of this season.
Mhm.
God, can we have some diversity of names at least? So being kind of like the golden boy, I think that he's playing up to this role, and that is very good, I would say, if he wants a long-lasting storyline, right? If he's
Right.
the guy that's always getting shafted in love and that the girls always get stolen from him, he might have longevity on the show and he might have the audience support backing him. And look at that right away, whether it's producer induced or not, he gets 2 dates. So
Right.
I'm gonna say that maybe he's playing into the storyline so that he gets some coverage.
Right. So that's what I said. I said I don't know if that was about him playing into it or if he feels that way, but I agree with you. I'm leaning towards he was playing into it because I can't see that there's anything for him to say she is the only one for me.
So we can see how boring, in my opinion, Gemma is. She goes on a little bit of chat with David, and like even the banter is not working between them. So she goes to walk towards somewhere to go sit down, and he's cutting through. She's like, "Why are you going that way?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not wearing heels, so I can take a shortcut." And she's like, "Oh, okay." Like she's just even when he was his response, I thought it was a cute response. And like she should have said something like, "Well, maybe you should have offered to carry me then." Or you know what I mean? I don't know, do something flirty. But she her style of banter so far is to kind of just put people down without having any back and forth and without a little bit of a cheekiness to it, a little bit of a smile to it. It's just like brash, brash and like kind of mean.
And somebody pointed out it might just be she just has no social skills because let
She's a
alone to
teenager.
have banter skills because she spent like her formative years where she would be like socially dating, socially like in her last few years of high school in quarantine.
Hmm. Quarantine. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
They
So
don't.
like when lockdown happened,
Maybe
she
she's
was like
amazing on
16.
Zoom. She's like the best on Zoom or Instagram Live. She's
She
so
might be great over the
engaging.
phone. Like if you send pictures and then talk to her over the phone, she might be wonderful. But this in person thing. But I mean, to be fair, it's not just her. Some of them in person I'm like what are you on about? But I think for her to progress, like progressively have continued conversations, it's not working.
You're right though. Her formative years were in lockdown. Brutal. I'd hate to have my last high school years in lockdown.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy that like I just got to just stay at home, but like I've already lived 2 lives of hers before lockdown happened. So
Right, right.
like
But that's what people are saying. Like,
it's a good point.
you're taking these poor children have gotten a lot of their development in social skills and life lessons and all that stuff taken away from them. And then I think they were saying even more because she's also in dressage, right?
Massage,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, so that means she probably wasn't even going to school a lot and socialing in the first place because she was always like going to competitions and
Mhm.
traveling around the world. And her father is a footballer, so she probably didn't have social skills to begin with. And then the little bit that she should have had, she didn't even get to experience.
No. Oh boy. What generation of kids? Hello, Sophie. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Natalie. So who's I don't know who Rachel is, Natalie. Which Rachel? Rachel from last season of Love Island? And Sophie likes your name,
Oh,
Tamika.
thank you.
So in their conversation with Gemma and Davide, they're talking. She says like, "Oh, I'm happy. Like I'm happy," and he's like, "I know," and that right there, he's trying to be playful. And she's like, "Oh my, oh, she's already has her back up against the wall with him being like, I know." And she's like, "Oh, well, I guess I shouldn't have said that to you. Like, I shouldn't." It's like he's trying to flirt with you, babe. He's trying to flirt.
No clue. She has no clue.
He's trying to flirt.
She has no
Like
clue.
if a guy said to me like, like, yeah, how are you feeling? Like, oh yeah, I'm happy. It's like, I know. I'd be like, you do you? Like, how much do you know? Like, play back a little bit, but she's just like shuts everything down. Do you know? It reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever taken an improv class. In
No.
improv, you're always supposed to say yes and because you don't want to somebody to offer you something and you to completely slam it and then start from scratch. You want to be building off of things and it volleying back and forth, whether it's like a topic that you like or like you love. Like, you kind of always want to keep the flow going by saying yes and adding on to that.
Right.
She does not have that art because someone will say something and she'll just shut it down instead of being like, yes,
Yeah.
and adding on to it and building something. Like, that's how you
She
create
can't
inside
carry a
jokes.
conversation at all.
Yes. She just
At all.
shuts it down. Like,
Yep.
how is she gonna get some inside jokes with people? Like, that's because you build on top of things and you like take things too far and you blow things out of proportion because like you just start teasing each other and one up each other or whatever it is and however it turns out. But she just does not do that at all. She's so boring.
Or
Boring. So before I really even felt that conversation was over, she gets up. She's like, "Oh, I think I should talk to Liam and like set things straight with Liam." So she kind of, it seemed to me abruptly, want to go back and like talk to Liam about this. And I'm like, "What do you need to talk to him about? Like, have this conversation with this guy that you're so excited to sleep in the bed with. Like, you should be like, if I was around a guy that like I'm super had a crush on, and like." I'd be like, whatever, you can wait for me. Like, I'm taking my time here in this moment getting to know this person. So that's also annoying.
yeah.
So she go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that when she did that, I was like, oh, so now she wants to play both sides because it kind of felt like she went there to lead him on because it was all of a sudden before it was like she wanted nothing to do with him. All of a sudden she had to talk to him and she's like, oh, it's really not, I had no choice kind of thing. And I was like, you've been begging to go to Dominate this entire time. Like,
Yeah.
what are you on? But it felt like she wanted to keep her options open because she knows that he likes her, and that way that it like she needs somebody to save her, he would be the person.
Yes, I totally agree. And I think that similar to Liam, I think she's like, "Ooh, this is my storyline." And I think also as a young girl, she loves the attention of two guys kind of fighting for her. Um, I remember in my early 20s, that was kind of the time where you realize your power as a woman and
Mm-hmm.
that you can kind of get whatever you want if you bat an eyelash and give a little bit of a smile. So I think that she's also experimenting with that and how it must feel great for to have two guys that are really interested in her. So when she goes over and speaks to Liam, she doesn't want him to the door to be closed completely because she wants the attention of these two guys fighting over her.
Right.
And so that's when she says to him basically like, I still want to get to know you, like the door's not completely closed, like I didn't really have a choice. And so for him he's like, oh, she's still kind of into me. She's never was into
Mm,
him.
yeah.
Never. Ooh, Natalie, what do you say? Do you see what Morale is talking about on his YouTube channel? I haven't seen it yet. I do look at some of his stuff. I hadn't been watching his videos because hasn't been talking about things that I wanted to care about right now. But I will probably tune in for his Love Island UK perspective.
Let me know because I don't watch his stuff anymore.
Oh boy, how did you send you off? I forget what happened.
Yeah, what he did with
Oh, with Cinco's father, right?
and Cinco's dad. Yeah, no, I wasn't a fan. Um, and then a lot of the stuff I did not care for some of the stuff that he's done since with black women that I just don't. Anyway, I just don't care for his platform anymore. So let me know.
Well, Natalie, is it something exciting? What is he talking about? What does he have to say? I have not seen it as of yet. So then Luca he does seem to like Gemma and Paige, but he doesn't say that he likes Tasha because he witnessed Tasha getting a little snog from Andrew the night before. And I mean, I know everybody's trying to make their own storylines,
Mhm.
but I just wish that I want it to be easier for Tasha and Luca to get together, right? Like I don't want it to be that hard. At this point, I was just was like, really? Like he doesn't like he likes Gemma and Paige now. He doesn't like Tasha at all when Tasha's the only one that I see some chemistry with.
Yeah, it was a weird like the so I got so confused because first of all, Luca and Andrew sitting in the same vicinity, I didn't know who was talking. And then he was like, um, he was just like sitting there and he was just like, oh, I don't know about Tasha. It's really like Paige and Gemma.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, Luca's saying it's Paige and Gemma now? And I said, well, maybe that was Andrew. And then when Andrew went back and told Tasha that she's not even in Luca's top 3, I was like, okay. And then I was watching tweets and they're like, did he just lie? And I was like, no. I don't think he lied because that's
Yeah,
what
he did lie.
I
He fully
heard.
lied. Well, no, he says that he likes Gemma and Paige when he
Yeah,
was talking to Andrew. He did
yeah.
not include Tasha because he was talking to Andrew.
Okay.
Um, and so I think that it was that Andrew kind of embellished a little bit. Like he didn't include her in his top 2, but she probably would have been in his top 3.
Top
That's what I
3.
think would
Okay.
happen.
And then it did seem like he was offended because he did mention to Luca like that they kept kissing in front of them.
I mean, we only saw that one kiss, so I can't judge that.
Right.
Um,
But it sounded like there was also a kiss in bed.
no, there was no kiss in bed.
Oh, okay. So I got so
But
confused
they're
by
in
the
I
entire
think they're in the bed
conversation.
next to each other. So I think it's just like whatever, maybe movement or commotion or whatever is
Right.
happening. But
Right.
as far as I know, there was no kiss in bed.
Okay.
So Danita here is agreeing with you. That's when I stopped listening to Murad too,
Hey,
Tamika, over
Danita.
him.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm done. I can't. I can't with him. I just not a fan. Yeah.
So
And then after that he reached out to Cash
and said what?
that he wanted to meet up with her.
I forget what the situation is. Explain it
Yeah.
to me. You might as well.
So so apparently he Cinco's dad had just tweeted that he hopes that whatever was going on in the UK, the couples there and Cinco and Cash could, meet up if they ever go that way because they're from Long Island. And people were like, "Oh, he's too much into their business, whatever." It was just a general statement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody mentioned Murad, and he's like, "Oh, well, if Murad wants to like interview them, maybe that's a way that they could meet." That's it. That's all he said. He never tweeted Murad. He never DM'd Murad. He never said anything to Murad.
Mm.
Murad then makes a whole entire video and says that Cinco's dad came to him because he had to have them meet Tyler and Cass, which is not what happened.
Right.
And he got called out on it, and he was like, "Oh, I don't have nothing to do with black people and putting black people together." And I'm like, "But you're always talking about the black women." He's been doing it with India and Amber since the show like put them out. That's what he keeps doing, that these black women are his thing. So to then say that he has nothing to do with black women and black people, I was very offended because that's not how you portray yourself. And even if you've watched, he's done interviews since then with single women from the island. He did an interview with
With
Amber.
Amber
He
and
did an
Kaz. Yeah.
interview with Kaz. He did an interview with Rachel.
Rachel. Hmm.
He's not doing an interview with Liberty. So
He
don't
might have
come.
actually though.
Well,
I don't
maybe he
remember.
did,
I don't
but
remember.
I haven't. The only ones I've seen is them,
Yeah,
and
me too.
so it to
Oh,
me,
and Anna and her sister.
and Anna and her sister, and to me, I just like I feel like he was trying to portray things totally different than they truly are, and putting it off on Cinco's dad, which was unfair because then Cinco's dad was getting hate, and I just didn't feel like it was fair to the man.
Gotcha.
And then Cash and Cinco was still in a relationship, and she was really close to Cinco's dad. So then to go behind that and then reach out to Cash that you're in New York and you want to come see her and hang out was offensive to me. To
I
me,
see. I mean, maybe if I saw it all go down, I
yeah,
wouldn't probably be as annoyed. I
yeah,
can't. I don't get it fully. So,
yeah, yeah.
but I definitely have realized that I've not enjoyed his content as much in the last years, like the last
Oh,
year.
yeah, I agree. I agree that too. Like his content to me is just drive dribble. Like he'll go and start talking about the Kardashians and a little bit of Real Housewives, and then I find his videos contrived now. Whereas I feel like before it had some substance, but I think like he's gone. I think he's gone to the like Todrick Hall kind of route of stuff where now it's just like I have to be over the top on this so that everybody knows that I'm this in like know it all of all this information, and then really nobody cares. Like
Yeah,
just
I
be
mean, for
yourself.
me, what I don't enjoy his headlines. If his headline annoys me, I definitely won't watch it.
Right.
And so, like, I don't find his content matches his headlines. It's a little bit too clickbaity for me.
Oh yeah.
And so that's I would just I guess maybe it's because I've been consuming a lot of YouTube.
Mhm.
There's a lot of channels that I used to watch more regularly that I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, I can't watch this anymore. I don't enjoy the content. So maybe I just outgrew him
Yeah.
because we've been doing this ourselves for the last couple of years. Before he was one of the only people that were doing this type of content, so that's probably why I've shifted my enjoyment of his channel. But one thing that happened at this part of this episode, so I was watching it on Twitch, and reading the chat, so I didn't have it full screen. The chat was available, and they were starting to call it Segregation Island in the chat.
Really? I see. I never have the chat up because I'm always watching with a small screen, and I did put a comment today because it was so bad. I was like, "This is the most boring date and conversation ever." But that is the only thing I've ever like put in the chat, so I don't normally read the chat. That is crazy.
They're calling it
But it
Segregation
does
Island.
fit, but you know what? I can see it. It does feel like it's two
Yep.
separate places.
Don't seem like I mean, they did have a few moments where Tasha was talking with India and and Amber, and so
Mhm.
like we saw that near the end of the episode, but it doesn't seem like everybody kind of intermingles the conversations between the lads, unless either they're all together or like the white people are talking and the black guys are talking. But
Yeah.
like you don't see that many times where it's like one black guy, one black white woman, white guy, or like
Right.
mixing in that way.
That so I want to know, is it that because even when they're having conversations, the white women are not mentioning Damie, and I can to me, Damie is the most handsomest man. I'm not saying he's the best guy. I'm saying he's the most handsome guy there. And they're just not entertaining him as a thought process at all. And I'm
No,
confused to why. And
you're
so
confused.
yeah, like I'm like, so is it that you guys do not like black men? Because then that is crazy that they have three white women on here that do not like black men.
Yeah, or I've never experienced it anyways.
Right. And then they did the same thing. They have three white men who do not like black women. Like that's the
And it's
problem with their
also interesting
show.
because whenever I went to England, like my dad's from England,
Hmm.
from London, and like I was a hot commodity when I went over there, like so it's not like as a nation, they are opposed. You know what I mean? Or like it's not something that they're used to. Like, and they have a huge Black community over there. So the fact that they're managed to find like 6 people that don't have, any interest in dating somebody that's of a different race, that's the producer's problem. That's
Yeah.
casting's problem, because I've never had a problem in England. I find that they're very forward. They're always trying to shoot their shot, like, and all backgrounds. And I'd say the white guys were more forward than the Black guys were.
Right. And
For
I
me,
think that's true. We've heard that same situation in the UK. We've heard the same situation
in
with
Italy.
Italy. I think only like Spain, the only thing I've heard is that they do seem to frown upon mixing in Spain, maybe. But
I was gonna say, I don't know. Like my mom, when she went to Spain, she was a hot commodity. But my mom is really, really light skinned, so
okay,
she's mixed, and like if you think I'm light, like my mom's like half my shade. You know what I mean? She's very, very light. So it could be because tonally she looks maybe more like Lebanese or
mhm,
like Arabic, as opposed to Black. So maybe that's why, or maybe even
right,
Spanish a little bit.
yeah.
Uh, so
Because Rachel Lindsay said when they were on their honeymoon in Spain and she was with Brian, people would stare at her holding his hand,
mm,
and like they
interesting.
were
Or
like
maybe, okay, so maybe
giving,
interracially, but yeah, my
yeah,
mom wouldn't be as drastic.
right, right, right,
So
right,
and this was also a while ago too. So things might have changed, maybe, with how they view race. Who knows?
yeah.
But
But I agree. I think it's got to be the casting, because either y'all are not asking the right questions, casting the right people, or y'all just don't give a damn.
yeah, I don't think they give a damn.
I'm starting to think they don't give a damn either.
It's very unfortunate because they had a very good product. I really used to enjoy the show.
Yeah,
Like I say it all the time. I started season 3 and I was like, this is amazing. I went back and watched season 1 and 2 at the same time, that I just was watching it as it went on. And I don't know if it's just because 2020 happened that I'm noticing things more, but 2020 happened and I'm noticing things more. So fix it,
yeah.
because you have a good product. Like, why can't you just fix the casting? It
I
shouldn't be that
feel
hard.
you. Yeah.
Not at all. So we see Paige and Luca having a little mini chat. Um, Paige seems to be into Luca. Luca, I think he's into Tasha, but he's feeling slighted for the fact that she kissed Andrew. So
Right.
he's kind of giving a little bit of attention to Paige. They are bed buddies. He mentions in his ITM that they touched ankles the night before. So maybe tonight they'll touch knees. So he's thinking about laying in bed with her. So there's that. So wait, what did I write here? Oh,
Yeah.
I said I'm not going to get to know Luca. Oh, okay. So yeah, so Paige is talking. This is when she's talking. Sorry, not Paige.
Tasha was
Tasha's talking
talking. Yeah, yeah.
to Andrew, and this is like, this is in the nighttime. They're all in bed or whatever, and she's like, oh, like he's like, I'm not going to talk to Luca anymore, and she's like, yeah, he told me you're his top 3. Am I in it? And she's like, no. Like, what? Why are you asking somebody, are you in somebody else's top 3? Like, that's definitely not something that you should do with somebody that you're laying in bed with, who is, you're both kind of trying to pursue each other. But B, Andrew, why would you say that?
I was so confused. That entire, like, from the conversation Luca and Andrew had down to what happened in bed, I was confused. I was confused.
So confused. So confused also the fact that we didn't get to see Ikenna and Pay and oh my god, I can't even think of everybody's name right now. Ikenna and India until 23 minutes into the episode.
Right.
Like right before they went to bed. It's when we first saw them. And I don't think we saw Paige yet this
No.
episode, or Dami.
No.
And like, even I was looking at some shots. So when they were calling it Segregation Island, I was looking in the shot to see if like you could
They're
see
in the
them
background
talking.
or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found. It is gone, exiled. Nowhere. Brad and Aaron, Jake, Tyler. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm like, what are we talking about here? So Natalie says, so Sharon, Brad, Aaron, and Jake, and Tyler were shading and laughing about Rachel on live about a bombshell and the rumors that Brad and her hooked up with Chugs.
Is this
Rachel
what
did.
Murad is saying? Because like
Oh,
I'm gonna tell you the truth, I very rarely believe anything Murad says nowadays.
Rachel did fire back on her Instagram post. Can we find that IG? I'll want to pull that. I'll put that on my channel.
Yeah. I did see Sharon had went live with Brad and a few of them. It was either yesterday or today. I got the notification. But this is my thing. Is it other people saying it?
Or is it Murad saying
Or
it?
is it Murad? Because if it's Murad,
It's problematic.
yeah.
Well, it will. My mic is driving me crazy.
Yeah.
So if it's Murad that's saying it, like we don't know if it's actually true. But if we were to hear them say it on the live, then that's a different story. So
Right.
definitely would love to find it. I want to hear it myself.
Right.
I agree with you. I don't know if I agree with his news.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because I was on the tag today watching while the show was going. I wasn't necessarily tweeting, but I was and I didn't see anybody saying anything about it on the tag. So that's the only other thing. Like when that happens, somebody would have saw it and said something on the Love Island tag is what I'm saying. And I've not seen anything because they were even talking about her when Rachel said that Laura only had her job because of Ian and that she was not wrong. I would have, it's on Reddit. Reddit's another place that I don't necessarily
Reddit.
I trust them as a source. I'm sorry.
Like Reddit's terrifying. I'm scared of Reddit.
Like,
I mean, sometimes it does have interesting information and maybe some tidbits, and they do a good job in investigating sometimes.
But they twist a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of it is perspective, a lot of it is tonal. Because like the stuff I saw them do to like Nate and Michelle from The Bachelorette the last few weeks, craziness.
I haven't looked at it, but like leave them alone. They're happy. Yeah. Like let them be. If they only stay together a year, that's amazing. That's better than a lot of relationships. So let them be happy.
Right.
Like what's wrong with them just enjoying getting to know each other in a relationship? Like I don't know why they're trying to tear those two apart.
I don't know.
Because he has tattoos. Like
I don't know what it is. It's weird.
So in the morning, the boys have a chat, the girls have a chat. I wrote down absolutely nothing because nothing really was said. I think maybe we talked a bit about footsies, no kisses.
I will point out, India says she thinks Ikenna calms her down. And Amber said that her and Damie are moving moving forward, and he thinks that they're both too serious about it, which I kind of agree with him on.
Right? Yes, Damie does say like, or no, Amber does say like, you make me feel like I need to be serious.
Right. And so I found that interesting because I feel like it. Okay, so if you're in relationships or potential relationships where you are not acting like yourself, are you really building with the right person? And that's the question.
Yeah, I mean, I find it very bizarre the way that they have been paired up together. And so I don't know what I would be like if I had to. I mean, I'm more social than those people though. So like I can get along with other like people that I don't like seemingly more easily than these people do. It could be because I'm older and I've had more experience, but like I don't know, like I could make a best friend out of anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And like
Like
I said that
Dami,
with people, like even in my dating life, I could be in a relationship with anybody, but is it a happy relationship? Is it a healthy relationship? Is it the right
fun.
person? Right? Like I vibe with anybody because I match energy for energy, but it's also like what the person is giving back, and it's and am I eating away at me in order to be in that relationship matching that energy? So that's the only thing I'm concerned about, because it sounds like both of them in both relationships nobody is
Forcing
acting
it.
how they normally, yeah, so it feels forced.
Yes, which is going to get them both kicked off. I know they're trying to stay together so they stay on the show, but the audience is not going to resonate with that at all.
Yeah.
Um, so Tasha is talking to Amber and India, and I actually like this conversation because I love the fact that she at least told them about what Andrew said to her. And India, I think it was like, oh, he's just saying that because he wants to get with you and he wants to basically like make sure that Luca doesn't have a chance with you. Like, definitely, oh, yep, he said that. Like, I was like, yes, call him out, because I wasn't sure if she would have had like the guts to take that position. And so I
Right.
was so happy that she had that conversation with them so that they could set her straight, because Andrew, like, I get it, you want to stay on the show, but you're not doing anything for me. I didn't like seeing your kiss. And right now I'm invested in Luca and Tasha getting together and it being a relationship that works. I'm into that. That's what I'm investing my thoughts on. Love though that they sussed out Andrew. Um and why do you think that Gemma and Davide had their first date? What was that?
I'm
They went to
telling I'm produce I think producers are trying to shove those two down our throats.
yeah.
And just the fact that they got the first date, I was like, why? But you know what happened? Like I feel like something similar happened last season with um Trina and Jeremy.
Oh, they had an
They
early
had
date.
barely gotten together, and they got the first date.
Maybe because they know that he's gonna jump ship soon.
And that's what I think it is. It's either he's gonna jump ship, or they're trying to like keep them both on the show and shove this love story down. And I'm just like, this first date was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, all we really learned is that I believe she has one brother and two sisters, and he has one sister. They live in Italy. He lives in the UK, and that's all I learned about them.
It was boring. The conversations were boring. There
I
was no
was,
chemistry.
I thought it was beautiful though, the lemon trees.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, boring date. So next we see Tasha and Tasha telling Luca about what Andrew said, and I was really happy about that because Luca was pissed, being like, "I can't believe that he said that." Like he thought that Andrew was his friend, and I was happy that they at least got that out of the way. And so, like, I don't want this broken telephone to prevent them from maybe finding a connection, and like
Right, right,
and it messing things up, and her not actually even being into Andrew, so like that wouldn't result in anything. So
right.
basically all that would do was get Tasha to not be in a relationship with somebody, because Luca
Right.
will find somebody else for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I was just like, this is unnecessary drama for no reason. Too early for this unnecessary drama.
So Luca now tells Paige, who is his partner, and Paige is kind of upset because Paige is kind of feeling that she's into Luca a little bit and thought that Luca was maybe into her. But now that she's hearing that Luca actually is into Tasha a little bit, she feels as though he's spinning her head, and he's like a spin instructor. And I thought that that was actually a funny little joke that she had made. That's like, you're kind of witty, Paige.
Yeah. I
A
was
little
a
bit.
little confused though again, because I was like, but I thought Paige liked Andrew more. Isn't that how
But the
she?
whole kiss thing has messed everything up, right?
Okay. All
So
right.
Andrew looks like he's pursuing Tasha.
Got it. Okay.
That's my assumption, anyways.
Yeah.
So we got Gemma and Davide returning from their date. They didn't have any kisses. There was no physical anything. There was no chemistry. There was no substance.
The part that killed me was she comes back after this boring date where they barely said anything. I was like, watch what you tell the boys. I'm like, tell them what? Nothing happened. Y'all barely had a conversation. What
Walking in, like, what? Like, as if they had like sex underneath the lemon tree. Like, tell them what? That you didn't have a conversation? That you didn't talk about anything? That it was boring? Don't tell the boys that our date was boring.
Crazy.
Hilarious. I do remember her saying that. So we see Luca giving Liam a pep talk, and I think that this is just Liam doing his whole storyline thing. Get to the nighttime. We have a nighttime party. And Luca, I was happy about this, confronts Andrew. Yes, and Andrew is just like stammering, like nobody's business. And he was saying it was an honest mistake. How is it an honest mistake? It was an opportunity, and you took advantage of it to make yourself look better and make Luca look bad. That's just facts.
Right.
But I guess it's the name of the game. They're all there for love, and so do what it takes. But the fact that he didn't really own up to it was kind of like a bit of an eye roll to me.
Yeah, that was annoying to me too. I was just like, okay, I'm officially off Andrew. I don't know. People said that he might be the new villain. I was just like, I didn't believe a word he said personally.
So we get Andrew and Tasha having a conversation. Andrew apologizes for what he might have said. It may have seemed like, and Tasha basically says, like, yeah, I'm going to put on the brakes here. I'm not really, like, let's take it a little bit slower. Let's slow things down. So I'm happy that that's happened, that his tactic backfired. I don't know if he has the game or the swagger to be able to, get another bird, but I'm happy that Tasha is taking her power back and not investing any more time into Andrew. So hopefully he's gone next.
Yeah.
Dami and Amber have a little snog. What do you think of that kiss? It didn't look like either of them enjoyed it. It was very fast, furious, and not good.
I'm not seeing any chemistry between those two.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit cute, the flirtiness of it. Like, oh, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are you thinking about? And then like, oh, I have to show you. Yeah. But if somebody kissed me like that after they're trying to show me, I'd be like, no. Thanks. No. That will be the last time that happens. Very, very last time. And then I guess India and Ikenna had a little bit of a conversation as well. They both kind of decide to just get to know each other. It's like, well, what else are you doing? Like,
but that's what I said last episode. I said they're not doing it properly. They are not trying to get to know each other. They were just like, oh, he should be into me. I'm not building like the connection of having actual conversation. And now they got to where I said they should have been yesterday, is that we got paired together. We don't know each other. Let's find out about each other. Okay.
Right? That's normal. Hi, Jessica. So Jessica says, Andrew wanted to plead insanity, I guess. If I was Tasha, I would be completely turned off. Yeah, completely turned off. Well, by the kiss, firstly, but then by him, like, cock blocking in that kind of way, not attractive at all. Not to me, anyways. And seemingly not to Tasha either. So at the end of the episode, Liam gets a text, and he's got 2 new girls are going to be coming into the villa, and the audience has chosen who they're going to go on a date with. And then Liam gets a text. He's going on a date with the first woman. Her name is, I wrote it down, but I can't read my writing. And then he's also going on the second date as well. So he's going to go on the date with both new bombshells. So Ekin-su and Afia. Afia and Ekin-su. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, great. Like, go on those dates. I don't see either of those women and him matching really, but we're creating a TV show, so let's watch it.
I don't know. I don't know. I was like, I don't see either of those women being his type, but again, we don't know what any of these people's type are because they took that away from us. So I would have liked one of the women to go on a date with somebody else. But maybe they, they usually will be like, okay, so who else do you want to date? And they'll pull them for the second date. So maybe that's why maybe Davide did not get the first date. They just wanted to set up Liam for his like little, I got both date type, build back his confidence. I just wonder who their type is. That at least we'll get to see.
They both look like they're like 27 years old. I don't know
Yeah.
what they're going to do with a 23-year-old.
No, me neither.
22, whatever his age is. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
It's too much of an age difference. At that age, it's too close. And he's too young.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it for the episode. Was there anything else that we missed?
No, I already see how it's going. Tomorrow we'll get dates, and then there'll be a cliffhanger. I can't. Like,
well, let's be optimistic. I think it is better this season than it was last season at this point.
Okay.
I do think it's a little bit more entertaining. And last season ended up being an okay season. So let's give it some positive energy and hope that it will live up to its own expectations of being a fun, entertaining summer show. So,
well, I did hear some stuff that supposedly there's a reason why they made the villa bigger, that they might like drag, like do it ultimatum style where everybody's dating people. Casa Amor gets done inside the villa.
Oh.
So everybody will be dating people in the villa. But we will see. I don't know. So they apparently there's a twist, and apparently something happens, and I don't know.
All right, well, we'll wait for this twist because that doesn't happen for at least a month or maybe 2. Like, it's a while away. But thank you, Tamika, for joining me on this live today. What do you have going on? Plug yourself. Let everybody know where they can find you. This is being streamed on both Reality Realness and Entertainment in Color. So if you're following me and you don't follow Tamika yet, please subscribe to her channel.
So follow me on Instagram, Twitter, everything, Facebook, for Entertainment in Color. I don't just do reality. I do scripted shows. And like one of my favorite scripted shows started last night, All Rise. It is now on OWN. I'm so excited to have it back. If you have not watched This Is Us, that show was amazing. It just ended a couple of weeks ago. Please go back and watch. I will also suggest watching Love Life season 2. Great season. So there's a lot of scripted TV that I am into. I may not be covering right now. Maybe there's a lot of reality this summer happening, but in the fall, maybe I will cover something. So follow me as always in Entertainment in Color.
Awesome. Thanks, Tamika, and thank you everybody here in the chat for hanging out with us. We will try to lock in a set time, but like this could be it. 6:15 could be our Love Island time. Expect that tomorrow unless something changes. Definitely do our best to kind of inform you if it's at a different time, but I feel like it might actually be later tomorrow because I might not be coming from home, but we'll talk about it. That will be kind of what our time is. And so if you haven't done so already here, please subscribe to the channel, building a community of people that love talking about reality TV. Like this video and let us know if you think that one of the bombshells is going to actually be interested in Liam, or do you think that they are both going to be interested in Davide? Or do you think Davide and somebody else? Like, what do you think is going to happen with these bombshells? How do you think the outcome's going to be? So let us know in the comments, and we'll see you tomorrow.